Hello and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host, Rob Bentley, and thanks for tuning in. On today's show, we'll talk Bulldog football after a big win at Davenport. We'll check in with Ferris State hockey and Bulldog volleyball as well, all coming off busy weekends. We'll start first, though, with Bulldog football, joined by my good friend, colleague, longtime broadcaster, Sandy Gholston. Great to have you on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me back.
Obviously, been a while since Bulldog football's kind of been in a must-win game in the regular season and came out with an impressive victory on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, for a situation that you're not quite as accustomed to in recent years, it was really a great performance by the Bulldogs to respond really well to that challenge and going down there to play a Davenport team that was coming in playing with a lot of confidence. The Bulldogs really came in and responded well, especially looking at that second half at the beginning of the third quarter on. They really responded well to the challenge.
We had a chance to call the game together on the radio, and obviously a great crowd on hand. Beautiful weather here for early November.
Yeah, I mean, for that time of the year, you can't ask for a much better crowd than that. And obviously, Ferris travels really well. And being in Grand Rapids with as many Grand Rapids, West Michigan kids as we had a really good turnout of Bulldog fans. As
we go to the highlights of the contest, obviously Davenport came in unbeaten on the year. Second year in a row they've been unbeaten when the Bulldogs have had to play them here late in the season.
Yeah, and you know, when you have a record like that where you're unbeaten and things are working your way, and they pulled off a great victory the week before against Saginaw Valley, and I think that really speaks to the kind of confidence that they were playing with.
Obviously, Davenport, a team that under Sparky McEwen, a former Ferris State football player and assistant coach, a program that's continued to kind of get better and better and on the rise.
And you knew Sparky was going to do that. I mean, he's that kind of a coach, and he has a great reputation in the coaching profession, going to his days coaching the pros, and then obviously the time that he spent at Ferris. And he's done a great job in a short period of time of building this Davenport program.
This game kind of back and forth here early. The Bulldogs had an opportunity on an early drive to get into the end zone, but not able to get any points. Here, a big interception from Alston Ware, true freshman. They got the start.
Yeah, it was really great to see some of those young guys on the corners really stepping up. We've had some serious injuries there over the course of the season, but the young guys are really stepping up and playing well.
Here, an unfortunate fumble gives Davenport the football, and we'll see them take the early lead kind of here on the Bulldogs. Myron Harris right here will ultimately catch the touchdown here for Davenport.
Yeah, just a nice play where he came out of the backfield there, kind of split a couple of defenders. Good pass there by Jason Whitaker, experienced quarterback. But, you know, the Bulldogs, you know, they're not a team that's going to shy away from the challenge, and they did a good job of coming back there and keeping their composure.
Ferris State gets right back here, able to tie it back up here with a nice touchdown drive. Tyrese Hunt-Thompson, the big catch. Then Brady Rose, a big grab right here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, great job right there. And then we see Trinidad Chambliss getting in the game, young quarterback with a bright future. Good score right there on a short yardage situation.
Bulldogs able to use all three quarterbacks here in this contest, and defense really played well for the most part. 4 interceptions here on the day, and there's one from Sean Stevens.
Sean Stevens had a monster day right there. We were joking about whether he was going to be a candidate for Special Teams Player of the Week or Defensive Player of the Week, and he's worthy for either one.
This first half, very competitive. Both teams trying to really establish themselves, and was kind of back and forth before Davenport gets this long field goal to take a 10-7 lead here at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, even at the college level, you don't see too many long field goals like that, but Coach McEwen, who we know well, had great confidence. But what a response here by the Bulldogs.
Ferris State starts the second half. Sean Stevens did win the GLIAC Special Teams Player of the Week honor thanks to this 100-yard kickoff return.
Yeah, you can see the sideline was excited about that one. Man, what a game changer that was. Momentum right there, a little bit on the side of Davenport, but boy, the Bulldogs really came out with a haymaker to begin the third quarter.
And the Bulldogs get the ball back after the defense gets a stop, and right away we'll see the Bulldogs make it a 2-score game. Brady Rose, a long throw here on the reverse, and then the Bulldogs able to drive down and put some points on the board.
Yeah, we saw the Bulldogs use a lot of the swing pass and a lot of different ways of trying to get those slot receivers involved right here. Here's a great run out of the backfield by the Bulldogs as well. Did a good job of mixing up plays.
Carson Golker with the throw here to Xavier Wade, not going to be denied here as he gets into the end zone.
Yeah, X is having a big year. How good has it been to have him back and his game-breaking ability?
Obviously, Davenport trying to make a response here as they drive down the field, but the defense ultimately will stand up to the challenge. Here as the defense shut out Davenport in the second half of play.
Oh, you can see they were doing a better job of getting pressure on Jason Whitaker there, and you can see the blanket coverage in the secondary. So it was really great to see, again, those young guys really step up in the secondary. And then the Bulldogs right there, tough tackle right there against C.J. Jefferson. But he's a tough guy. He bounced right back up, and great run there by Carson Gulker.
Really, the offense started to get the running game going. Markel King, Carson Gulker, and then long throw here to Xavier Wade again that gets it down inside the 10.
Yeah, I think you said it, like a 50-50 ball to X is like throwing 80-20 really, because he's got a great chance of getting that.
Here another drive where the Bulldogs really had it first and goal, could have put some points on the board, but a fumble right here and gives Davenport some life deep in its own end.
Yeah, but you can see Sheldon Cage coming in there and really trying to set the tone right here. But here was a great play right here defensively by the Bulldogs. Great break on the ball by Sean Stevens.
Sean Stevens with the interception that kind of really sealed it, made it difficult for Davenport, trailing 28-10 here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was really great to see the Bulldogs, step up defensively. And I think, one of the areas of concern were certainly the cornerbacks and with some injuries that we've had. But we've seen Sean Stevens come into the program and step up, and we've seen some of the young guys step up.
Obviously, this week the Bulldogs back at home. Hard to believe, final game of the regular season, Senior Day, as they take on Wayne State, and another big game with playoff hopes still riding on the line.
Yeah, we talked about last week against Davenport being basically a must-win game, a play-in game, a playoff game, if you will. And this is the same, and obviously the Bulldogs are going to be favored in this game, but certainly it's a game that the Bulldogs have to win, number one, and number two, you certainly want to, if you get the win, you want to be able to emerge as healthy as possible, looking ahead potentially to the playoffs.
Of course, waiting as we tape this one here early in the week, waiting on the new regional rankings to come out, but obviously Super Region 3 very competitive, and a lot of teams really feel like they have an opportunity still to contend for a playoff spot.
Yeah, sitting here in Super Region 3, I mean, we feel like, and I think justifiably so, it's the toughest region, maybe by far, in the nation. And so it's going to be very competitive, but the Bulldogs certainly help their cause in terms of strength of schedule. Their resume is starting to look even stronger for the Bulldogs, so a chance maybe to climb up a spot or two in those regional rankings to really solidify that position. But no matter where you start in Super Region 3, you're going to have tough games right from the beginning through to the end.
Obviously, we saw it this past weekend, going to see it again this weekend, but for Ferris State, how much does that veteran experience, guys that have kind of been through these playoff battles before, really help in big games?
Yeah, I think it showed against Davenport. I mean, you had some experienced guys that maybe in a pressure type situation, if you got some younger guys that haven't been through that before, they might not be quite as ready to respond to that situation. But the Bulldogs are a team that's been through that before. They've played in a number of big games. You got guys that have played in multiple national championship games, big playoff games. So they were ready for that challenge, and it really showed against Davenport, especially down the stretch.
Obviously, the Bulldogs are kind of a one-game-at-a-time mentality right here. You had to get the win over Davenport. Before you can look ahead to the playoffs, really, you got to get a win this week to really have a solid chance of getting in.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a big step to get past Davenport. But now you look at it here, and you can't let up. You can't take your foot off the gas pedal. You got to continue to play strong, because if nothing else, you want to win this game. You have to win this game, but you also want to go into the playoffs if you can get there playing well.
Obviously, Senior Day, as we mentioned, and a great opportunity for the Bulldogs to honor a senior class that's had maybe as much success as any class in Bulldog football history.
Yeah, it feels like we keep saying that, but it's true, because these guys have really set a great legacy, and so it's going to be a great opportunity to really celebrate these seniors and the success that they've had and the impact that they've made on this program.
Well, Sandy, thanks for the time. Recapping a big Ferris State football win, and looking forward to Senior Day this Saturday against Wayne State.
Anytime. Always glad to come back.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.